This is the 5 tech things that you should know about for this week, brought to you by Mosey.com. We asked the question, are you ready to start playing Zynga games yet? Welcome to the 5 tech things you should know about. My name is Jeffrey Powers, www.geekazine.com. You can get me on Twitter too and everything else. For all you weekend warriors in tech that don't want too much information overload, that's what this show is about. So let's get into the 5 tech things you should know for this week. Oh no, it's a possible cancer. I got a big tumor on my head. I don't know what to do with the tumor. It's a tumor. It's my hand. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we heard this last week. Oh yeah, putting the cell phone up to your ear could cause some cancer. And that might be true. I mean, there's no positive or negative influence to this. There is some information on this, but not totally. That's why they made this distinction. And it's basically the group that puts labels on things decided, well, we've got to put a label on this. Is this causing cancer? Is this not causing cancer? So what they did was they put on a label of possibly carcinogenic. What does that mean? Not much. It just means that we understand that there's a possibility that you could get some sort of cancer by putting a device like that up against your ear. But the reality is they don't have enough proof to say, yes, it's definite. Yes, it's absolutely definite. You're going to get cancer for doing that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know a little bit about me, but I have a condition called vitiligo. You kind of see this in certain areas of my skin. There's a little bit white spots, basically. It's a lack of melanin in the skin. Now, I've always been told that if I don't wear sunscreen in the sun, and I've been wearing SPF 45 before SPF 45 was even known, that if I don't wear that, then I have a greater chance of getting cancer. Skin cancer, that is. So, you know, you take care of yourself and you get cancer, and I still get sunburned, and I get concerned about that. I always like to say it's like I have a house that's not insulated properly. There's always a risk of cancer, whether you're smoking, whether you got some sort of skin ailment, whether you are, I don't know, whether your main job is in a sewer plant somewhere. I suppose that could cause cancer in some way, shape, or form. We don't know how cancer gets formed. We just know that it forms in certain people. Some people who don't smoke at all get cancer. Some people smoke for 70 years. They haven't had a lick of cancer in their life. They die just like everybody else of natural causes. Well, not everybody else, but you understand what I mean, what I'm getting at. There's never a clear case of this is actually going to do this. So with this label, and this label is just a label. It's nothing more. Don't read into it. Just move along until there's some case study done on it. If you're concerned, get a Bluetooth headset. Get yourself a set of earbuds that you can put in. You never have to put your phone to your ear. Now, some of you are going, well, wouldn't a Bluetooth headset or something like that also cause cancer? Not really, because the fact that, yes, there is a battery inside your earpiece, and that is next to your ear, but it's a lot less emitting electrical pulses than a phone. And plus, the phone also emits 4G, 3G, well, depending on your phone, of course, 3G, your CDMA or GSM signals. That's where all that comes into. So if you don't have that coming through the earbud, then it's not that big of a deal. There's always that possibility that, yeah, it could eventually cause you cancer, but in all reality, it might take millions of years to happen, and you're already dead anyway, so it doesn't really matter. In the meantime, we'll keep you apprised. If they decide to upgrade it to fair to critical to super critical to whatever, we'll let you know. But right now, it's just a label. Just like everything else, everything's got to have a label on here, so don't worry about it. They're going to do some more research. If you want to help in the research, you'll let them know. Other than that, we just move on from there, and we've now been labeled that it's possibly carcinogenic. Possibly. You got to hand it to Apple. They know how to push the curve. In this case, it's the rumor mill. Everybody was ready. Oh, well, let's figure out what's going on at WWDC. We might have an iPhone. We might have an iPod Nano. We might have this. Because, of course, Apple changed the game by taking the iPhone and pushing it to September as opposed to a July release. So all of us that have iPhone 3GSs are at that bubble of time to upgrade to the next phone now have to wait a couple more months and lose we're on our contract, which our contract ends by July, that we have to wait a couple months for the new contract to come into play. But anyway, they decide to push the envelope a little bit more, and they go, hey, you know, we'll just tell you what we're going to talk about. And everybody's going, wait, what? Apple's actually talking to letting us know what they're going to talk about? Yeah, that's true. Not only is Steve Jobs going to be coming out of his medical leave to talk about what's going on at WWDC by the opening keynote, he's going to talk about the new cloud iTunes, which they just procured a domain for the other day. They're going to talk about Mac OS X Lion, and of course, they're going to talk about iOS 5. No word on if there's going to be a new iPhone. I think that's going to come a month or two down the road. They might hint at what's going to happen in the new iPhone, but I don't think they're ready to really show what the iPhone 5 is going to look like or sound like or do anything like that. So you got to hand it to Apple, because a lot of these people, these rumor mills would have been off the charts. If you would have went down Google's news list, you would have saw rumor, 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 rumor. Now you see news. That's kind of weird. AMD announced their Trinity lineup, their APU, all processing unit, which is basically your graphic processing unit and your central processing unit or computer processing unit. It's all going to be smushed into one now. And of course, they've been working on this for the last couple of years now, where you could actually, instead of having a graphical card and a processor as two separate devices, that they put it all onto the same die, so you don't have to worry about it. My new MacBook actually has the GPU into the CPU, and it's pretty cool as part of the i7. But AMD has just announced the Trinity line of APU. They're on. It's called the Llano, I believe is how you pronounce that. Llano APU. It's a 32 nanometer die, and of course you can put the processor and the graphic processor. I don't know how many processors they can put onto that series yet, but this is all going to be part of the Z series, which is going to be part of their tablet series. So they can start pushing out tablets, more mobile devices, and of course smaller PCs. That's where it's all coming to: smaller PCs, smaller desktops, smaller laptops, multi-core smaller laptops. The MacBook Pro I just got has 8 cores in it. Technically 8 cores, although I think it's just 4 that's with hyper-thread. I don't know. The whole thing is pretty interesting, intense in doing that. But AMD is really pushing the envelope and getting you to that next series of processor. Interesting to see what happens. Of course, they just announced that there's no pricing on it just yet. There's no release date or anything like that. But I'll be interested to find what's going on on the AMD front and how we can actually do a lot of processing with our computers. This laptop right here is about 1.5 years old, and it's already kind of out of date because it's only got 2 processors in it and a graphics processor not on it. So it's kind of interesting. But this machine, if I was to make it now, would be about half the size. And that's the cool part about technology. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is back. It's the 5 things that I learned this week. It's brought to you by Stitcher. Go over to stitcher.com/geek. Download the mobile application, and you have a chance of winning $100 for downloading this free mobile app for your iPhone, your BlackBerry, your Palm, your whatever device you have, even an iPad. You can download Stitcher's or mobile solution for podcasts. So let's get into the 5 things that I learned this week. Number 5, Shaq announced his retirement on Twitter. Now he can spend all his time as that lovable Kazam. Number 4, Ruby the robot can solve a scrambled puzzle in 10.69 seconds. It includes the time taken to scan the initial status, then peel all the stickers off and put them back in their color-coded places. Number 3, Lady Gaga's Born This Way sold 1.1 million copies last week, which makes it the fastest-selling album since 2005. It set a single-week record of most digital sales by an album, 662,000 digital copies sold. Over 400,000 were purchased from Amazon.com. Born This Way is a compilation of Bruce Springsteen and Aerosmith songs and... Wait, what? It's not? Oh, okay. Number 2, technology giant Cisco predicts by 2015, 1 million minutes of video will be watched online every second, and more than 40% of the world's projected population will be online, video-wise. So once again, I ask, why did Cisco close the Flip division? And the number 1 thing that I learned this week, Paris Hilton says, if it wasn't for that sex tape, she would be the Princess Diana of the United States. I think she really meant to say, I wish I would have done a sex tape with Princess Diana. Anyway, that's the 5 things that I learned this week. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in Tennessee, because you're the only 10 I see, then you might want to listen up a little bit, because Tennessee passed a law, and it's actually a very good law if you think about it. They're basically saying, hey, if you share your username and password with your Netflix system, with New York Times, with Rhapsody, with Hulu Plus, or any of these sharing sites, you can get in trouble with the law. It can become a federal offense. Now, if you broker your username and password and sell it to other people, you have a chance of going to jail. It's a way for these digital online systems to crack down a little bit on what's called login sharing, where people use the same username and password on multiple computers. And some, like I said, actually sell it. So you basically create a Netflix account and say, you could pay the $8 for that Netflix account, but if you pay me $5 or $3, I'll let you have my logon name and password. Now, I don't share off my logon names and passwords to anybody because, you know, these are my accounts. Although it would have been a nice little entrepreneurial system. Yeah, it's against the law. But some people, it's like, hey, you know, it's a couple extra bucks in my pocket. And what's the big deal? I mean, they're making a lot of money off of Netflix anyway. Well, the reality is, out of that $8, a portion has to go to the movie companies and the TV companies for having all those movies and TV shows on there. A portion of that goes to the internet for all the bandwidth issues that they have to go through. A portion of that is going through the R&D to develop the applications for the Xbox 360, the Roku, the Boxy, and your PC, so you can get it anywhere you want. And then, of course, they end up getting probably 50 cents, quarter per account. So if you start sharing that account, then all of a sudden they got to raise the prices, and then where are we going to be in the end? Don't share your passwords. Don't sell your passwords to somebody else. But, you know, this is a precedence. And I could see down the road, all 50 states around the world have actual laws to say if you sell your username and password, you could go to jail. That's the digital times we live in. So don't sell your password. You know, it is your life online. You should back up now, back up often, and back up off-site. And remember that code GEEK, that gets you 15% off. 15% off that already low price. $5.99 per computer per month. Mosey.com, back up your pictures, your documents, your life off-site. Save yourself from theft, fire, hard drive failure, and bring it all back when you need to. If you get a brand new computer too. I just got a brand new computer. I brought all files back up and reset it up on the new computer, and now it's backing up on Mosey on the other computer, which is great. So back up now, back up often, back up off-site. Remember that code GEEK, because that's going to save you 15% off that already low price to back up your documents now.
Once upon a time, in a beautiful faraway island paradise, there was an evil invasion. And as the relentless foes struck their shores, the peaceful, kind, and hard-working islanders struck back. Build your army, fight with friends, lead your empire, and if all goes well, live happily ever after.
All right, finally, we know we see it on Facebook all the time. We scoff about it on Facebook all the time. All our friends that are playing Farmville and Mafia Wars and all these other games. Well, the company behind it, a company called Zynga, has been coming out with different games, new games, cooler games, so on and so forth. The newest game is called Empires and Allies, which I played a little bit of it. You're basically building an army so you can go fight other armies. Now, the one thing that I don't like about Zynga and their system is the fact every time the OK button, it makes you think that you're actually just pressing OK when it actually pops up a thing that says, okay, would you like to share this with the rest of Facebook? As much as I understand why they're doing that to push out, hey, there's a new game out there, in all reality, I don't want to be asked every time I do something, do you want to share that with everybody on Facebook? I want to turn off that option. I don't want that to pop up every time. When I press OK, I don't want it to press OK and then open up a share with everybody on Facebook window. The game itself, Empires and Allies, looks pretty interesting. You build yourself your barracks, you build the armies, you build a farm, you build some huts, you then attack the allies. So that's a pretty cool part. You can kill people on this game. But I'm not going to play it because I don't want, and especially with that area where you build the diplomatic area and then you've got to hire people to be in there. And instead of hiring people, you can say, oh, well, just ask your friends over on Facebook and maybe they'll be your allies. And it's like, I'm not asking my friends on Facebook to play this game. I just want to play this game. And if I like it, then I'll share it on Facebook. But right now, no. Just give me a game that doesn't ask me every 5 seconds to ask people on Facebook if they want to play it. That's what I'm asking Zynga to do. And I think if Zynga was to do that, they would all of a sudden get a whole bunch of people coming to play their games because they're not asked every 5 seconds to post something on Facebook about it. For those of you who play a lot of games, and we know there's tons of people out there, because there's some new statistics coming out that daytime TV has to be really concerned about because they're playing online games more than they are watching daytime soaps, then we know we're going this direction. It's just a question of, is this the direction in Zynga that we're going, or are we going to just decide, well, no, I don't want to be asked every 5 minutes to share my status with somebody on Facebook, so I'm going to move somewhere else. Interesting stuff, but the real question I have for you guys is, what kind of game will actually get you to start playing the game on Facebook? Is it a war game? Is it a farm game? Is it a mafia game? Is it just a bloody shoot-'em-up, first-person shooter type game? Let me know. And of course, that's the 5 tech things that you should know about next week. Of course, last week I was in New York. Next week I'm going to be in Las Vegas again for HP Discover. If you haven't signed up for the special media feed, go ahead and do that. I know we're going to be talking a lot of tech in this special media feed this next week. I'll have a live stream on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If I got time, I'm going to do a 5 tech things you should know about and go from there. But for now, we'll probably end up skipping a week, and then we'll see you in 2 weeks where we'll get back into an almost regular schedule and then go from there. Thanks a lot for watching, and of course, thanks a lot for everybody that's listening to the 5 tech things you should know about in the audio format. Those numbers have gone through the roof, and I appreciate that very, very much. Until next time, my name is Jeffrey Powers. Catch me over at Geekazine or Twitter, Geekazine, geekazine@gmail.com. Thanks a lot for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Number 2, technology giant Cisco predicts by 2022